Most people know the shower scene. Most people know the scream. Most people know the name. But almost nobody knows the full story of how a girl from Merced, California, who was never supposed to be an actress, became one of the most important faces in the history of Hollywood. Not because she was handed anything. Not because someone powerful decided to make her a star overnight, but because of a series of moments that could have gone completely wrong and somehow went exactly right. This is the story of Janet Leigh, and it has never been told properly. Janet Leigh was born Jeanette Helen Morrison on July 26, 1927 in Merced, California. Her parents were not wealthy. Her childhood was not easy. Her father, Carol Morrison, worked wherever work could be found, and the family moved constantly following whatever opportunity appeared next. Janet later described her childhood as one long series of new schools, new towns, and new beginnings that never quite felt like beginnings at all. She was a quiet child, studious, serious, the kind of girl who sat in the back of the classroom and noticed everything without saying very much. Nobody who knew her then would have pointed at her and said that one is going to be in the movies. Nobody. And that is exactly what makes what happened next so extraordinary. The discovery of Janet Leigh is one of those Hollywood stories that sounds made up because it is almost too perfect to be real. She was not discovered at a drugstore counter. She was not spotted walking down a street by a talent agent. She was discovered through a photograph. A single photograph that her mother had placed on display at a ski resort in Northern California where her parents worked. Norma Shearer, one of the biggest stars of the golden age of Hollywood, saw that photograph on a visit to the resort. She looked at the image of this unknown teenage girl from Merced, and she picked up the phone and called her agent. That call changed everything. Within weeks, Janet Leigh had a screen test at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. She had never acted a single day in her life. Here is the part most people skip over. A screen test at a major studio does not mean you are going to be a star. It means someone gave you one chance to prove something you have never proved before. Most people fail. Most people walk into those tests with no training, no experience, and no understanding of what the camera actually does to a human face, and they walk out never hearing from the studio again. Janet Leigh walked in the same way. No formal training, no drama school, no years of stage experience. She had her face, her instincts, and the strange ability to be completely present in front of a camera in a way that cannot be taught. The studio signed her. She was 19 years old. Her early films at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer were designed to introduce her slowly to audiences. The studio system of that era worked like a factory. They shaped actors carefully, controlling the roles, the publicity, and the public image with enormous precision. Janet Leigh was put through that same machine. She appeared in film after film throughout the late 1940s, building a following without anyone fully understanding yet what she was actually capable of. She was charming. She was photogenic. She worked hard. But the roles she was given in those early years were not the roles that would define her. Those were still coming. What separated Janet Leigh from dozens of other beautiful young actresses who came through the studio system in the same period was something that directors noticed very early. She did not perform emotion. She felt it. There is a specific quality in film acting that separates the people who understand the camera from the people who are simply standing in front of it. Janet Leigh understood the camera. She understood that the lens sees everything the eye misses and that stillness on screen communicates more than movement. Directors who worked with her in those early years consistently described her as someone who made the people around her better. That quality is rare. It is the quality that eventually leads to the kind of role that changes everything. By the time the 1950s arrived, Janet Leigh had stopped being a promising newcomer and had become something the studio had not fully anticipated when they signed a 19-year-old girl from a ski resort photograph. She had become genuinely dangerous on screen, not in the way that word usually gets used. Dangerous in the way that only the most compelling performers ever become. The kind of dangerous where an audience cannot look away even when they want to. The story of how she got to that point is the story of a woman who was never supposed to be there at all. And that story was only just beginning.